And
You're live?
we are live.
Sweet.
Just
I'm
make
trying to look
sure
it up.
everything's muted so there's no echoing. And then we will begin.
Where would the live show video show? On your thing?
There you go. Yeah, you used to go to YouTube, press on the live stream, and just pause it or mute it so it doesn't echo in the background. But I'm going
Wait.
to get this started. So, hey guys, how are you doing? Hopefully, having a great day. I am back. I know I've been absent from YouTube for like 2 weeks. It was exam season. I had a negative time to edit any videos. Good news though, I have 2 bass fishing videos coming up next 2 weeks. So it may warm you guys up a little bit depending where you live. Um, and we got a couple things to talk about today. So I'm actually here with Sebastian. You guys know Sebastian, Seabass Outdoors. We got a couple things we're going to be talking about today. First off, I'm just going to catch up with you guys on a couple things. Mention this trip I'm going on in a week or so. And then Seb and I are going to talk about today the Ice Fishing Expo, and he's going to talk about a pretty wicked bag he got on Lake Simcoe full of smallmouth. So, like I said, I was absent. Exam season. You're probably going to have to expect that every exam season. School does come first for me, so that is why I was absent. And I'm going on a trip. I'm actually going down to Florida in a week. So any of you guys from Florida, shoot me a DM on Instagram, the.ladybass. We'll get to talking. We can go fishing, pond hopping, some lakes. I don't really know what to expect. I know there's a lot of grass down there, and I know the largemouth should be bedding up there or down there, I guess. So if any of you guys can help me, if any of you guys can help me out, send me a DM on Instagram. We can talk. And yeah, that was pretty quick. I didn't think it was gonna be that fast. I just wanted to catch up with you guys really quickly. Today, so Seb, how did today go? It was pretty wicked, huh?
Today was crazy. It's the first ice fishing show we had up here in I would say in Ontario, right beside Lake Simcoe, which is one of the most ice fish lake we have up here in North America. There's hundreds of thousands of people that fish it. And there's big fish that live in it. I was lucky enough last year, January 25th, to catch a record fish coming out of Lake Simcoe, the burbot. Giant fish, almost 18 pounds.
It's crazy.
We catch a lot of lake trout, and Lake Simcoe is known for big, big fish. Smallmouth, the best 5 smallmouth bag in a tournament comes out of Lake Simcoe here. It was broke this year by 2 Canadian. Jason Clay, I'm not sure the second guy's name, with 31 and 84. 31.84.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
Simcoe generates big fish. It's a big fish factory, but they are very, very finicky. You can see 6, 7 pounder smallmouth. They just won't bite. So you have the right arsenal. It's awesome. I love ice fishing. I love ice fishing Lake Simcoe, and I love bass fishing it. It's big. It's a lot like Okeechobee. It's a big bowl, and there's only a few shoal to catch those that the lake trout and bass can go on. But it's really fun. I had a lot of fun at the Ice Fishing Expo. It was crazy nonstop for me and Steve.
It was absolutely insane. You guys, like, this was the first ever ice fishing show up here, and I was not expecting it to be this big. Not only did we have studs like Seabass and Dave Chong was there, Big Jim McLaughlin. I'm butchering all these names probably. Steve was there, and they had presentations, of course. If you guys want to go see Seb's presentation or seminar on whitefish and lake trout, it'll be on his channel in probably a couple days, right?
It's uploading right now. It should be on tonight.
Perfect. But it was pretty cool. Seb's probably one of the best lake trout fishermen on that lake. I would probably say. I'm not really big into ice fishing, but I know he's pretty good, and he gave out a lot of secrets and all that stuff. So you guys can go have a look at that. But it was a really good turnout for sure.
So when are you heading down south to go to Florida?
Down south. So did you say seminar? Yes, seminar. Seb's seminar. I'm going down the day after Boxing Day, and I'll be there to the beginning of January. So I'll be there a week, maybe in a bit. I don't really have the exact dates, but I will be hitting up ponds maybe Okeechobee. We'll see if that pulls through, and then maybe Kissimmee. We'll see if that pulls through. It all depends. But I'll for sure be fishing, so you guys will be seeing that hopefully.
Are you flying or you're driving?
I think we're driving. Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
You're going to go through all the mountains in Tennessee, Virginia.
We've driven it before. I'm going down with my family. We have friends down there, so we're gonna go meet up with them. But I've driven it before. Last time I drove it was 3 years ago now. It's not that bad. You just sleep the whole way or just have some movies. But
you should get all your subscribers that are local from all the way to Florida to give you
down the highway
shops. There's wicked tackle shops in Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia. Really good tackle shops. Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a couple of nice stores where I'm going to West Palm Beach for anyone that's wondering, right beside Okeechobee. I'm sure there's a Bass Pro down there. I'm going to stock up on some lures, probably unbox that or something like that. But yeah, I'm super excited. This is my first time like fishing for bass in the States. I've been saltwater fishing in the States, in Florida and Key West and all that stuff. Never actually bass fish down there, so I'm really excited. Really excited.
So did you enjoy your fall season for the smallmouth here?
Let's talk about the fall season. Wait, let's talk about the tournament. The NGTA that I fished.
Yeah, you fished with Steve. That was cold, brutal, windy. So Lake Simcoe is a bowl. It's a lot like Okeechobee. It's a bowl. There's a couple bays that are deep, but the minute you get, 15 miles an hour wind, it's 4-footers guaranteed. There's nowhere to hide. So where the tournament was held out of was at one of those steep, long bays. And Ladybass and Steve stayed in the bay thinking, and it paid off, thinking that, they wouldn't have to drive 3 hours to spot and another 3 hours to come back, which is what I did.
Mistake number one. Well, no, you did catch a nice bag. You caught like 20 pounds, right?
Yeah, but 20 pounds when you caught the week before, it's nothing, right? Yeah. See, on Lake Simcoe, at any time in the summer, in the winter, in the fall or opener here in late June, sorry. If you don't bring in 27 pounds, you're not having a great day. 27 pounds is a standard on Lake Simcoe. And look at me and Steve. We brought in 30.13 pounds.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that day instead. That's a lot more exciting. And we finished third.
So there's big fish in there. There's world record smallmouth in there. They just haven't been caught.
Imagine catching 30 pounds and coming in third.
Smallmouth.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, cool, because for me, I've had a great year fishing. It's going to be hard for me to top off. I caught that record burbot. I fished on Gunnersville with Casey Martin, finished second. That was an amazing experience. To top it off and finish the season and catch 30 pounds. A smallmouth, there's a handful of angler that can say they weighed 30 pounds in a tournament. That really made me happy. It's sweet and sour finish. Usually 30 pounds, you should win something. We were third place. Congrats to the winner. But it just gets you fired up, It made you taste what this lake can really do. And me and Steve, or me and Aaron, have been out there fun fishing, and we know we had bigger bags. We know there's 32, 33, maybe 34-pound bag there on the right day. But in a tournament in the fall, everything's got a line to even catch that 30 pounds. So, yeah, you've been out with me. You caught your PB.
We haven't had a day that amazing, but it does have its ups and downs, I think, that lake. You really have to, find them and be there on the right time and all that stuff. I remember like one time, we went out one time when we caught one fish, or I caught one fish in the summer.
It's tough. It's tough. If and especially like Lake Simcoe gets really tough for the smallmouth, like early August, like second week of August, all the way to September. And once it starts to drop down, those fish come back from the depth and they come back shallow again. So there's a downtime period, but that downtime period, if you put time on there when it's really hot, it's usually you get your biggest bite of the summer. And then you wait a couple weeks and you get into the fall and they transition, they're together, they start eating. But it's a pattern lake. Like you can go out there and sit on 20 fish or 30 pound of fish and see them all, if you don't throw the right bait at the right speed with the right line, the right color, you saw it.
Yeah.
We went out there.
We were one evening we were out there. We saw at least like 30 fish sitting on one shoal. We couldn't get any of them to bite. I remember that. Yeah,
they just, you know, they have when you get a pattern like this where they only eat a certain type of bait at a certain time of the day, they really go by the moon phases, and moon phases really affect those fish, just like the lake trout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what you talked about today. Seabass had a presentation or seminar on, like I said, whitefish and lake trout.
I got MT Fishing here asking what's my setup for the spin bait 80 and the line leader. He's dying to try spy bait. So I have a video on mine where I show exactly how I throw my spy bait, and I catch 27 pounds in front of the camera. If you check, it's really good. It's a well done video. It just doesn't get a lot of views. I didn't push it, but fishing a spy bait with Seabass Outdoors, check it out. It's funny because I got stickers here from Realis. I got tons. Anyway, so the way I rigged my spy bait, I'm very different than most guys. A pro will use it on a spinning gear. He'll use 10-pound braid with maybe 10-foot, 10-pound leader. Fluorocarbon, I like Sunline, which is not bad. With the drag very loose.
I've heard of people just turning their drag off fully, like not using any drag.
Just because they don't want to peel the hooks out of their mouth. Yeah. For me, a spy is a lot like a crankbait. I throw it on a crankbait rod, 7.2. It's a Megabass Leviante, medium action, 12-pound straight fluorocarbon, and I hook him and I winch him in. I don't let him fight much. You can see in the video, once you got the fluorocarbon, you got the stretch, so you're not gonna lose those hooks or bend those hooks out. And the hooks, if you get a real spy bait from Duros Realis, the hooks are high quality hooks. They're not gonna bend out. They're not gonna break. That's my setup. And a spy bait, I've completely stopped throwing a spinner bait. I use a spy bait now. I don't stop it. I don't jerk it. I just bring it back in steady. Sometimes I retrieve a bit faster, but it's a killer bait. And it's big fish bait.
Yeah, I just started using it this year. I actually use a spinning rod with 10-pound braid to an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader, so I go a little bit on the light side. But I have caught a couple fish on it, and it definitely is another technique I'll be focusing on next year to try to master a little bit more. We got another question from JR Outdoors. What reels do you use for bass? Well, you guys probably know what reels I use. If you guys watch my videos, I use the Casitas, Corrado, a bunch of other kind of reels from Shimano. My favorite baitcaster is probably the Casitas for the price. Absolutely wicked reel. And the Nice Ski for spinning reels. I think it's like $100 or so. It's pretty wicked. Seabass uses a lot of different brands. He can talk about some of his favorites.
I used to do the pro staff thing, and pro staff's really good when you get companies like Ladybass fully supported by Shimano. That's amazing. I got away from the pro staff. I wanted to focus on my fishing and not promote stuff as much. Every brand out there that's a major brand makes good product. Shimano's one of them. I love Shimano. I got Shimano reels. I got Shimano rods. I got Daiwa rods. I got Megabass rods. Wright and McGill rods. To me, it's just, I'm fortunate enough to be able. I don't mind paying full price. But you know, Shimano is by far probably one of the best quality out there. Bang for the buck. Daiwa's not far there too either. It's fun. That's important, guys. The best thing, and Ladybass will agree on this, is to have a combo that you're completely confident and confident. Confidence is your best bait out there. You ever throw in a bare hook, if you got confidence, your confidence will vibe through the line and you'll get fish. I really believe in that. Confidence.
As long as you believe you can catch a fish on it. Proof, I caught a fish on a broken jerkbait. I believed in it. I caught a fish. Like Seb said, just if you know you can catch a fish from the bait, you will. For sure. I kind of cut you off there. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm reading the comments here. There's some good questions.
Mono or fluoro for
Followers from
what?
everywhere: California, Florida, Canada. That's amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah,
My
100%.
channel's mostly, I do both ice fishing and you know, of course, bass fishing. But that's awesome. If you guys got more questions, you know, relating
Just let
to
us know.
anything, Derek Nesbitt's from Barrie. He needs to
Really?
come down
He,
to the.
he probably came from your channel.
Pardon
I
me?
have like zero subscribers from this area. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
If you guys have any ice
Hey,
fishing
no, today you
questions,
had a subscriber come and take pictures with you today.
yeah, we got a couple. There's a couple people that recognized us. Got a couple pictures. It was pretty cool. It was nice meeting you guys. Like it's different interacting over video than interacting in person, obviously. So it's cool. It's cool to meet you guys in person. Derek, yes, we met at Cabela's today. I went to Cabela's for the first time. I've never been to Cabela's in my life. There's one about an hour away from me, so I went today. And Derek works there, and I met him today. He's one of my buddy's friends, Aaron's friends. So that's cool to see you on here, Derek. From Florida, South Carolina, Indiana. Wow.
What did you think of the ice fishing show today? You know,
It
you're
was.
the first one in our area in a long time.
I think it's a good thing that. Okay, so I think there's a bunch of people in Ontario that are absolutely ice fishing geeks. Like, there's bass fishing geeks like me and then you, but you're also like I guess an ice fishing geek. There's like a certain species of people that like just wait for ice so they can ice fish. And I feel like this is a good thing. It not only like expands the ice fishing community, but also helps like teach people more. Like I learned so much today about ice fishing. I'm not big on ice fishing. I ice fish. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time, but I ice fish. Watching Seb's seminar, a part of Steve's seminar, listen to some of Big Jim McLaughlin's seminar, and I've learned so much. It's absolutely crazy. And I feel like expos like this will help, like, you know, expand the ice fishing community. Not only the ice fishing community, just the fishing community in general. So I think it's a good thing that this expo is going on. It was a really big turnout too.
You know why ice fishing is really big here is I believe you look at Florida, Texas, Illinois, Michigan, they all have those states where there's a lot of ponds. You can go pond hopping,
Yeah.
you can catch from shore. Here, it's really hard to do that.
Yeah.
Most of them, you know, they're private ponds, or you get Lake Simcoe, you can't fish it from shore.
No.
And if you fish from a dock and you're not catching nothing. So ice fishing, what happens when the lake freezes over, everybody's on an equal playing field. You don't need a boat. You just need boots, you know, a warm suit, and a fishing rod. So there's a lot more people involved, and it's a cheaper sport. A lot of people come and ice fish too, and they come in and feed their family with perch and lake trout, which is totally fine. So it's you know, I think ice fishing, that's why you get a turnout like this. It's much more accessible once the ice freezes over.
And
And
it's a
there's
lot
big
cheaper.
fish to be caught on Lake Simcoe. Like, you want to catch big fish, you come ice fishing.
Come ice fishing. I've seen pictures of Cook's Bay on Lake Simcoe. Like, people are standing beside each other ice fishing for perch.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely crazy how many people ice fish.
There'll be, you know, at Cook's Bay on a nice day, and once you get solid ice, 6 inches of ice, there'll be 2,000 people in that bay. Easy.
And they're all catching perch.
One bay. There might be on a good day, I'm not even afraid to say upwards of 5,000-10,000 people fishing that lake. It sees a lot of pressure. You know, guys like me, Steve, you as well, we try to promote catch and release. A lot of people keep the fish, but it's also a put and take lake. That we call it the MNR here, not the DNR. They put, you know, you can check every year. They put 25,000 lake trout or 52,000 whitefish. So put and take in these fish. What's really cool is, let's say the MNR in 2007 they put in lake trout. Well, they cut their right pectoral fin. If they put them in 2008, they'll cut the left pectoral fin, and they'll do that with all their fins. So you can, when you catch one, you see which fin is missing on the fish, and they'll tell you what year she's from, so you can tell how old she is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. We have a question here: mono or fluoro? Without any context, so I'm just guessing in general. Good thing to start off with mono. It's cheaper, more forgiving, and it's an easy way to learn. That's how I learned how to use a bait caster, at least. As of right now, I do not use monofilament at all. I either use braid or fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon is more sensitive, sinks. I just prefer to use it over mono, but it just depends on your situation, right? So if you can give us some more context, we can answer that question a little bit better.
Yeah, it's, you know what, nowadays with the technology that's in the fluorocarbon, um, I don't use mono unless I'm far away from structure or I'm fishing top water. Yeah, there's a massive difference in wear resistance and
sensitivity mostly.
Sensitivity on the fluorocarbon compared to mono, but the price is there too as well. You're looking at $6 for a spool or $20, you know, so
it's huge.
That's why a lot of people up here in Canada, you'll see them rig braid, mainline, and then 10 feet of fluorocarbon. It happens to be cheaper like that. It's also more sensitive. That's a big difference. So I fish in the US a lot. I do some bass tournaments over there, and I fish up here. And they have zebra muzzle down there as well. You know, not on every lake, but in the Great Lakes. You talk to fishermen, pro fishermen in the US, it's all straight fluorocarbon, unless they might be drop shotting with a braid leader and then fluorocarbon, a braid mainline and then fluorocarbon leader. Up here, 90% of the people will throw on everything: braid, mainline, and then fluorocarbon leader. I'm one of the guys that use straight fluorocarbon because I fish a lot in the States. Once you understand of fishing, bringing back a bait with straight fluorocarbon, you feel like you have less sensitivity. But once you're used to that, your hookup ratio is much better because although it's fluorocarbon, there's a little bit of elasticity,
more stretch,
a little bit of give before the hooks rip out. Yeah. That's what I find.
Ladybass, you should go try ice fishing for pike this winter. I don't see a lot of people ice fishing for them constantly, and they are awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing in that area, so I'll do some research, maybe get a couple people to come out with me or something like that, and definitely something I want to do, though. Rig up some tip-ups for some pike. I know Seabass or Seb has fished for pike, right?
Yeah, pike's really fun. Like pike, you go like first ice, you find a bait that still has weeds, the green is still weed, they'll be in the weeds, anchor down in there waiting for sunfish to come by or perch. Well, you catch them on a tip-up. So instead of trying to jig for them, stuff like that, you put a live minnow, you put a tip-up with a flag, then once the spool unrolls, the flag comes up. And, you know, it's very popular in Wisconsin, most of Canada. It's really, really fun. There's actually a couple ponds by where you live that a lot of guys go with that, like Frenchman's Bay, when it freezes over.
That's absolutely, yeah.
There's big pike in there.
There is big pike in there. There's a lot of big pike in there. A lot of big carp in there, too.
Yep.
I fished there once. A lot of catch and keep. Wasn't really feeling the vibe in that area, but that's actually a good idea. I may go out ice fishing there this winter. Try for some pike.
That's fun. It's just fun to get out. Ice fishing is relaxing because you don't need a boat to get around. You're just sitting down. Most of the time you're warm because there's a heater. You eat, you get fat like I am. It's fun. You don't have once you've been in the boat and you control the boat, ice fishing is relaxing time. You don't need to control nothing. The fish are under you and
just wait. Well,
yeah.
Depends, but yeah. In what color water will a red crankbait work? Any color water. For me, a red crankbait mostly represents a crawfish or crayfish. I use a red lipless a fair bit actually for schooling fish, yo-yoing it, whipping it out of grass and all that stuff. But I mean, it's weird. I crankbaited it a lot last year. This year, I barely picked up my crankbaiting rod. I totally switched gears. I just couldn't find the pattern with a crankbait. But I mean, I use a crankbait in 10 feet clarity, a red crankbait, and it has worked for me. So.
Yeah, well, Randy Howell 2-3 years ago won the classic on Gunnersville. It was a red crankbait, a DT6, and it was also one of those I don't use them much, Livingston lure, and it was one of those red craw crankbait that dives 6 around bridges and stuff like that. It's very popular in the States. We don't really have a crankbait pattern here in Canada. We don't have the right grass. You know, we don't have that heel grass that grows all the way to 6 feet, and then you get 6 feet of water. Our grass is very up and down,
it's
and
not like
hung up in it.
Thick or anything like that.
Yeah, it's mostly fishing rocks and stuff like that for us.
Do you like Walmart fishing stuff? The Walmarts up here are absolutely awful compared to the States. They have like negative fishing lures. I think a couple Walmarts are upping their game, but no, not really. I don't buy my stuff there. I'd rather go to like Canadian Tire or something if you're from Canada.
In the States, the Walmart, some of them have good stuff, but it's
Really?
pretty hit and miss. You can get some decent rods. They got Falcon rods and Wright and McGill in there. That's affordable. But they
The
really
Walmarts around me must suck then.
Pardon me?
The Walmarts around me must suck then because I've never.
Oh, here they're terrible. In Canada,
they're awful.
Yeah, they don't have selection.
No, they're awful.
There's not, when you think about it, like a real tackle store, and I'm not talking Cabela's and I'm not talking Bass Pro, like a real bass fishing tackle store.
Yeah.
There's only 2, 3 maybe in Ontario. You know, there's Epps, Gagnon Spar is one of them. Pro J.
There's like 3 in this area at least.
3 around us.
Yeah.
A couple more, you know, Angling Outfitters and those guys, but they're far, they're 2-3 hours away.
You have a skeet reese rod, right?
Yeah, I used to be with Ryan McGill for my first year. I did bass fishing, and I enjoyed them. They're really good. They're affordable.
You still use a couple.
Yeah, I still do. They still do. What I find in the skeet reese and Wright McGill rods is let's say it tells you like it's a spinnerbait rod, but it's exaggerated. It has more action than just a spinnerbait rod. It's more mushy than it should. The drop shot rod, you know, it's got a really, really, really soft tip. That's my favorite drop shot rod. The skeet reese Wright McGill rod. You know, I got Megabass and stuff like that. Drop shot rod. I still use the Wright McGill. It's amazing for smallmouth. It's really soft and they don't come unbuttoned.
Unbuttoned.
Yeah, I hate when they come unbuttoned. That costs money. David D'Souza says Gagnon Spar in Oshawa and Bass City and Mark. I've never been to Bass City.
I've been there. I went there once. They had a lot of like JDM reels, I think. I was there for maybe like 30 minutes.
JR Outdoors asking, what's your favorite plastic? Soft plastic.
I missed that. Soft plastic. Whoo, I don't know. Lately, it's been a paddle tail swim bait. I don't know if you guys have watched my videos, but I literally used 3 Angler's Choice swim baits for all of fall when I was fishing, and they have done the trick for sure.
Hey, you beat me. You beat me on that challenge because of that swim bait.
What challenge?
The challenge where against Steve, Robo, Aaron, me, and you.
Yeah.
You came on the shoal. Oh my gosh, she's not gonna catch anything on a swim bait.
I whip out a swim bait. Seb's like, yeah, swim baits don't work on here. Throw it out. Second or third cast, or maybe 5th cast, something like that. Bam! It was a 4.9. I think it wasn't 5, but it was a 4.9 or 5, maybe 5.2 or something like that. Pound bass. Yeah, no, swim baits.
That was in August. Like it was a good bag for August.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What about you? What swim baits? Or not swim baits? What soft plastics do you like?
Myself, soft plastics.
Yeah.
I definitely like swim baits. I mean, I've made a lot of money this year on swim baits. The matter of the size, it seems to be the swim bait year for me.
For sure.
Last year, you know, a lot of guys were throwing jerk baits. Was a jerk bait year.
Last year for me was a drop shot year. It was absolutely hectic.
Yeah, but the swim bait is really good. I got a question here. Juan Garcia is asking, is your smallmouth your favorite fish to fish?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just the power of them. They're so like pretty. I don't know. Yeah. They're crazy fighters. They're crazy looking fish. Definitely more fun in my opinion than large. Well, it depends what you like, right?
Definitely more finicky. I mean.
Yeah, it's harder to dial them in for sure. Like you can go fishing for largemouth pretty much any day of the summer and catch a decent bag. For smallmouth, you have to really be able to dial them in and be there at the right time and figure out all the structure stuff and all that stuff. But definitely a lot more challenging, which is probably why I like them more. I like the challenge. So. Yeah,
it's you know, they can be finicky, and if you're fishing a lake that has a lot of bait fish, they'll be on a moon phase, and you know, beyond fish they won't bite. But Uh, in Canada, especially around here, you hook into a smallmouth, your chance of catching a trophy smallmouth, like we're talking 6, 7, 8, 9 pounds, are much higher. You know, the smallmouth have taken over big time. There's only a few lakes now where you can catch 20 pounds of largemouth. Like, there's not many. Rice Lake used to be a lake where you needed 20 pounds of largemouth. Now you're lucky if you go out and catch 15 pounds of largemouth. You know, it's the smallmouth really took over. There's only a few lakes that produce more than 20 pounds of largemouth.
We should go fishing for trout. I will eventually. Like I said, Seb over here is an absolute trout nut or stud, I guess. So
ice fishing though.
Ice fishing wise.
I'll catch rainbow trouts. They're nice. They're in the rivers, but what happens when the rainbows go in the river in the fall? It's prime smallmouth season.
Yeah. So why would I waste my time if I can go?
Well, it's not wasting time, but it's. Well, if I didn't live close to Simcoe, I would go for those steelheads. But here, you go in the fall, and you saw it with your own eyes. Like, there's a chance you catch it in an 8, 9 pounder, and like legit on a scale 8, 9 pounder. You know, I've lost a fish that was close to 9 pounds. Yeah, I've got plenty of high 7s on a scale, not just talking. You know, me and Steve 2 years ago were in the fall. He cast it, I cast it. I'm reeling. He's like, "Oh, I got one." I said, "Oh, I think I got one too." We had a double header, 2 fish over 7.5 on a double header. There's only one lake you can do this, and it's this lake.
And it's days like that gets you hooked on smallmouth.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, but trout fishing, trout hate me. Like, I have trout in the lake I usually fish where my lake house is at. I don't know. Not really my thing. But yeah, last time me and Grant, team fishing, you guys remember that video probably, went trout fishing. That video went viral, so I probably should do it again.
Hey, which one's the one you got kicked out of?
Kicked out of? I got kicked out in Toronto, fishing a pond in Toronto.
Oh yeah.
No, it never said no fishing or anything like that. So me and oh god, what was his name? One of the co-owners of Fanatic Baits. I forget his name, but we were fishing a lake. We drove a good, I don't know, probably hour to get there. No fishing signs. We drove right in. We parked our cars, went out. There's a dock there and everything. And probably about 2 hours in, we have a little encounter with some security. But I mean, what can you do, right? We did catch a fish or two. They were biting. I brought a lot of bass fishing tackle. I didn't bring too much pan fishing tackle. I caught one bass, and then there's a lot of like panfish in that area. But I mean,
sometimes you gotta push the boundaries, and you're fishing. You're not breaking. You're not stealing anything, especially if you do catch and release. I mean, when I was your age, like I snuck in places. You know, even when I was a bit older, there's a pond in Richmond Hill in Ontario. That's a private pond, and again, it doesn't say private property or private pond. There's monsters in that lake, and I'm talking like big pike, like 40-inch pike, 5-pound largemouth, like all 5-pounders, and big walleye. I caught 3 walleye back to back over 7 pounds on a
in a pond.
In a pond.
Jeez.
In a pond, and
they were probably stocking it.
Yeah, it's stocked. Wow. I did talk to the M&R officer that takes care of that area. He says, you know, if we've caught people there before, we just kick them out. But it is stock. It's they do biology courses at that pond.
Oh, okay.
Stock with those things.
Okay,
there's
that makes sense.
Monsters. Yeah.
His name is Ross. Thank you, Grant. His name is Ross. I can't believe I forgot his name, but yeah. Best way to catch a limit of largie in basically every northern lake is fishing finesse jigs on weed edges. Would you agree? This is from NJ Fishing.
Oh. I mean, there's in Canada and up north too, like the Chautauqua and those lakes in the northern states. It's really hard to beat docks if they're on docks. If you roll up on the right dock, um, I'd rather fish docks than weeds. Our lakes have a lot of weeds, so the weed edge,
Breaking it down.
it can go for miles. And don't get me wrong, they'll be in the weeds. You'll catch a big bag like 22, 23, 22, 23, 24 pound bags of largemouth, but you'll have to cover a lot of water to find it. Meanwhile, a dock, if they're shallow, dock's really hard to beat.
You have to make sure you find the right docks, though, right?
Yeah, same with the weeds.
Make sure for me at least, I found that docks are pointless unless there's wind blowing at them. So I have caught a nice bag of largemouth though, fishing weed beds. But again, if you fish a bigger lake, it's impossible to go through each weed bed in a day. So it's really just hard to narrow everything down. We should like a couple of minutes.
Asking you what's your PB pike?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no more than 30 inches, to be honest.
30 inches. That's a good sized pike. I mean, can't go wrong with that.
No, I know you've caught. No, those are one of them. You've caught a trophy muskie, no?
No, I caught a good pike this year. That was pushing 40 inch. I told one of my video.
Yeah.
Catching big freshwater fish. It's actually one of my best video editing. Got the drone out there, and I was casting giant swim baits. It's like a sunfish, casting it out on my megabass rod up by a tree and choked it. But you saw Aaron. Did you see the video with Aaron where he
snapped his rod?
That was a good video too. And the pike that almost jumped in the boat. Yeah, we were fishing with Aaron. Was one of our friends. He was casting like an 8-inch swim bait for pike. He cast it out there, and he was using an HMX heavy action. Like it's a big flipping stick. Like it's a 7.6, I think, and it's the right rod to throw that bait. And he set the hook. He was reeling it, and then it clack. It tapped. It broke out. So I just did an edit last week, like a 59-second video with a bunch of repeat on my Instagram just to tease them. Well, there's pikes are fun to fish. It's the only thing we can fish that's a predatory fish before bass here.
Yeah. You caught a nice muskie the first tournament we fished this year.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
That head, it's in my tournament video. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have watched it. You probably have. But 45 inches, close to 45.
Oh, it probably it's hard to tell.
Definitely 40.
Yeah, it's over 40. It's probably like 42, 43. And I know there's muskie there. That's why I was like,
yeah.
You knew, I told you we were going to throw a top water, but I wanted to eliminate the muskie. That's why I threw a spinnerbait. Well, if there's a bass, I'm going to get it. But I got to weed out the muskies. They're here. They're scaring the bass. And first thing we caught. And we're fishing in a tournament to make money. But a big trophy fish like this, I'll take the time to take pictures and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
It was fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was actually my first tournament I ever fished. We can recap that a little bit.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
You up? I say, hey, you want to fish a tournament? It wasn't a big tournament. There's like just under 20 boats.
Yep.
I usually at Golden Bass Series. I usually fish their tournaments once a year, and it was windy that day.
I think less than half of the people made it back.
No, I think everybody made it back, but
I mean, like weighing wise.
Yeah. So no, what happened is you had to make a decision on that lake. You either sacrifice yourself and go run way northeast for smallmouth, or you stick with the largemouth. And that's what we were the only one with smallmouth bag. Two big smallmouth, like 4.5s each.
Yeah.
And
then 3 smallmouth and 2 largemouth.
Yeah.
And then
the largemouth was shut down, and where people fish is very pressured. So we made a long run. Where our plan went perfect. The only thing is, I think the weather at one point really shut us down. We couldn't fish for like 30 minutes. We
were stuck under a dock, for 30 minutes. It was a lightning storm. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of us. It was raining so bad.
Yeah, and it was also opener, and we rolled into this little creek. And I usually go in there and do really well and catch 16 pounds just in that creek. And this guy's just yelling on his lawn, "Oh, I caught them all yesterday." And we're like, "Oh my God." And you know he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I caught a 4-pounder or a 5-pounder here, and we're like just fishing sloppy seconds, But it was
Well, no, it worked out. We ended up catching.
fish.
Yeah, no, we caught the last fish, the last largemouth in there.
We
That
caught
saved our butts.
we got 2 smallmouth, the big ones in
in the morning
by the rock pile.
Yeah.
And then we roll into those creeks, and that's where we got all of 3-pounders. If not, the one you caught was close to 4.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
That was funny. That was funny. She goes, "I want to throw a frog too," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll rig her a frog," but
we pull out one of Aaron's baits.
I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna rig this," and I'm like, we were about to go. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not gonna change the hook." Just I think you were throwing a Senko or something.
I was throwing Texas rigged Senko, so you just put a toad on there.
Yeah.
I was reeling it in top water, like on the top, and then there was a mat like maybe a couple feet off the
shore, the drop off
off the shore, and I let the frog or the toad just sink a little bit right after the mat. Fish comes up, I see it. The fish comes up, swallows it, bam, set the hook, bring it in, probably close to a 4-pounder.
Yeah, just under 4 pounds. Me, I'm like, oh my God, I just put a terrible hook on there for that. I didn't think you were gonna catch one. Like second cast in, you caught one.
Yeah.
That fish made us win. If we didn't catch that fish, we would finish second.
We were first by 2 ounces or something?
No, a bit more than that.
A bit more than that?
Quarter pound, but that fish was a big upgrade because
we had a little
high 2 in there.
Yeah.
We made a pound upgrade with that.
No, that tournament really took me out of my comfort zone. If I was to fish a tournament out of fish, what I'm good at or what I like to do, I guess. At that point, I was really good at finesse. Like I haven't spent too much time in muck or flipping or doing fishing frogs, but that tournament really took me out of my comfort zone and gave me a lot more confidence in fishing 2 feet of water for our largemouth. So.
Yeah, although the season for spawning up here, like they finish usually like second week of June.
Yeah.
Some of those fish will still, like we caught fry garters.
We caught probably the 2 that we weighed in were fry garters.
Yeah, they were, but they were to the point of leaving them where the fry were long enough and the fry ball was all spread out, and even the bass would even be around. He'd be around, but like he'd wander way off and then come back, and there's a week window after opener where you can still catch,
spawning.
Yeah, spawning fish or fry garters, we call them. It helps a lot. Fishing shallow too. Like we don't get as much of a shallow season as what people do down south.
No, for sure. The biggest fish of the tournament was a 5.2, if I remember correctly, under a dock.
Was it? Didn't we get the big fish?
I remember the guy told us it was a 5.2 or 5.3 or something like that. He caught it like the first dock or something like that in the morning. He had to come in early because of all the wind.
You sure we didn't get big fish for this?
No, we didn't. Our smallmouth was close. It was just like second or something like that. No, we didn't.
That was a good little payout, like what, $700, something like that.
Yeah, I don't really remember, but we should probably wrap up.
Yeah, you go ahead. It was cool to be on. I had a lot of fun. Long day for both of us.
Really long day.
Back at it tomorrow. Anybody you want to come see me do a seminar in the expo? It's pretty good. We had the house was packed today for me and Steve. You want to learn about ice fishing? All the secrets are out. Any questions are answered.
There you go. Yeah, it was absolutely packed today. Probably had close to 150 maybe people watching at one point.
Oh, for sure.
It was super crowded. A lot of questions for Seb and Steve. But if you guys want to go watch them, they'll be up in Barrie, the Ice Fishing Expo. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this cleared up a little bit of confusion of why I wasn't posting. And stay tuned for some Florida videos because I'll be down there in a week or so. Shout out to Seb for joining me. His YouTube is Seabass Outdoors. Go subscribe to him. He's an absolute stud. And videos will be back regularly scheduled starting this week. So hopefully you guys will enjoy those. So thank you guys for watching or tuning in. And I'll see you guys in the next one.